Have you heard about a cut called plunge cut or bore cut? It's a great cutting technique to be used when you're not sure where the tension or compression in your tree is. Let's go talk about it. This is Chainsaw Safety with Clemson University, and I am your training instructor, Patrick Giesel. And today we are going to learn about bore cutting. So what is a bore cut? A bore cut is a cutting technique where you literally bore a hole through the middle of the log that you're cutting. You're not cutting from the top, you're not cutting from the bottom, you're punching a hole through the middle. How do you do that? You have to 100% commit to your cut. Because as you're cutting through the middle of the log, you're also cutting with your kickback corner. And the only time you can cut with a kickback corner is if you're running with full speed. So the way you do a bore cut, you start your bore cut at a 30-degree downwards angle. You use your tack corner to cut slightly into the wood, and then lift your saw up into the horizontal and then push that saw slowly through the log until it pops out on the other end, and then you take your finger off the trigger. As I said, you have to 100% commit to this cut. If you do not cut with full speed through the middle of the log, your saw will start bouncing, it will start jumping, and if you start moving your saw out of the cut without having full speed, you are cutting with the kickback corner and you're risking kickback to your face. So when do we use a bore cut? We use a bore cut most often with tree felling, but we can also use bore cuts with trees that are already on the ground to separate a tree into individual logs. Oftentimes we use the bore cut when we're unsure where the tension and the compression in a log is. In that case, it's really easy to use a bore cut because it leaves a little bit of wood on the top side and on the underside, and it prevents that log from pinching your saw and the compression from compressing the fibers. We also like to use a bore cut when the tension side of the log is on the underside and it's sitting on the ground, so you cannot easily make a cut from underneath without cutting into the dirt. So a bore cut comes in really handy with that. A bore cut is also a very good option when you do not have wedges available to keep a cut open where you're unsure whether it's going to close on you or not. By doing a bore cut, you can basically leave a little bit of wood on the top side of the log, which will prevent your cut, your saw curve, from closing at any time.